We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Stirairangaiः Stushtuvakum Sashtanubhiः Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuः Swasti na Indro Vrittashravah Swasti nastakshorarishthanemiः Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying the Mandukya Upanishad, the Shankara Bhashyam. And we are doing the second chapter, Vaitatya Prakaranam. This is a very important chapter of Mandukya Upanishad. And we have so far covered 13 Karikas. Today we are going to start the 14th Karika. The final goal of all the Upanishads is to make us understand that our real nature is not this body or not this mind, which is experiencing the world outside. This is an experience which all the jivas have. This experienced world is to serve the law of karma. But the final truth of this universe is something called as Turiya. In other Upanishads, they call it Brahman. What is this Turiya? What is this Brahman? It is a reality. If that is the reality, then what we experience is what? Our waking state, our sleep state, our dream state. These are three experiences all of us have. So, Mandukya Upanishad says, our experiences have got nothing to do with reality. Reality is Turiya. It always exists. And the description is given in the 7th mantra of the Upanishad. In the second chapter, there is one word, Upashamam, Prapancha Upashamam. Upashamam means cessation of the Prapancha. Prapancha means the universe of experience. The entire world of experience gets negated when we go to sleep. And in the sleep state, the Upanishad says that is the karanam for these two projections of the dream and the waking. Beyond the sleep state, there is a permanent vastu. It is always there. It is birthless. It is deathless. It has got no anatma in it. It is called as Turiya Atma. And that is the self of all the jivas. The same thing is described in Bhagavad Gita also, in the 13th chapter, 3rd verse. Kshetraknyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Know this Turiya Atma as your real nature. And then it gives a lot of descriptions about this state, which is called as the fourth state. But ultimately, once the world is falsified as mithya, as an appearance, then that adhishtanam, that substratum called as Turiya Atma, alone exists. This is the ultimate message of all the Upanishads. Whether you study Kathopanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Keno Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, all these Upanishads are trying to convey the same reality. The second chapter, the third chapter, and the fourth chapters, these three chapters are Nyaya Pramana. There is a lot of logic which is being explained in these three chapters. Gaudapada Acharya uses reason to prove the existence of Turiya, number one. Number two, to prove that I am Turiya. I am not the body, I am Turiya Atma. Throughout our study of Mandukya Upanishad, keep this backdrop of what the Upanishad is trying to teach us. Only when you know that this is what the Upanishad is trying to teach me, then as the Karikas are explained, you will start understanding your nature better. So with this, I will start the 14th Karika, where we started last week. And this is the mantra where we said,
Chitta kala hi yentastu Chitta kala hi yentastu Dvaya kalascha ye bahihi Dvaya kalascha ye bahihi Kalpita eva te sarve Kalpita eva te sarve Visesho nanya hetukaha Visesho nanya hetukaha.
So in this Karika, number 14, it is a Purva Pakshi Karika. And what is the Purva Pakshi is telling us? Purva Pakshi wants to always try to say that the waking state is different than the dreams. That is the job of the Purva Pakshi. Whereas the Upanishad says dream state and the waking state are exactly the same. How Shankaracharya and Gaudapada try to negate the Purva Pakshi is explained in Karika number 14 and 15. These two Karikas are very, very important Karikas because most of our questions will also be very similar to the questions of the Purva Pakshi. So in this Karika, Swapna and Jagrat is analyzed in a very, very detailed way, in a detailed fashion. Swapna is basically a subjective experience. This is the explanation of the Purva Pakshi, who tries to say Jagrat and Swapna are different. What is this argument here? His argument is that one is a subjective experience. Only I can experience my Swapna. Other people cannot experience. What about Jagrat? Jagrat is a public perception. Everybody can experience it. I also can experience, others can also experience it. That is the first thing. What is the second thing? What he says is, even when I don't perceive the world, others are perceiving it. How does Shankaracharya, how does Gaudapada Acharya tries to answer this question? He says this type of argument is inappropriate. First of all, he says, I accept there is a difference. One is objective, another is subjective. That I accept. But I don't accept that they are different. The logic which you are using as being objective and subjective, I don't accept that. That is what is the contention of Shankaracharya and Gaudapada. For example, some people may take the rope as a snake. Some may take it as a pipe. Some may take it as a māyā. Now, but that doesn't prove that rope snake is real. This is one argument which is given. The second argument which the Purva Pakshi talks about is Dvayakala. Dvayakala means Jagrat is experienced in two different times. Yesterday also I experienced the world outside. Today also I experienced the same world outside. Whereas the Swapna is not experienced again. It is only a subjective experience, and once I experience it, next day I don't experience it. This is another argument given by Purva Pakshi. So the duration of perception determines the duration of existence, according to the Purva Pakshi. Dream, when I stop perceiving the dream, when I wake up, the dream world disappears. I don't worry about the dream after waking up. This is a common thing for all of us. See, when going through these things, you should apply the reasoning and try to understand your own experience. Now, dream perception exists, and we don't perceive that also exists. And a dream is experienced within the mind, that also we all understand. It is chitta paricheda. It is conditioned by the mind. The dream is available to us only at the time of mental projection. What about Jagrat? Jagrat Prapancha exists during perception, but and also after the perception. Dvayakala. Dream is experienced at one time and then it goes away. Waking is experienced in two periods of time. What Gaudapada Acharya is saying is, he says these are all concepts of the intellect. That is what he is replying here. He says it is the delusion of the intellect. Your reasoning that the world existence is determined by the Dvayakala is not correct. He will explain now. He will, in the following analysis, Shankaracharya will explain why this is so. Very beautiful explanation. You try to understand the reasoning. Very deep analysis. What he says is, Bhedakala, two times of existence of Jagrat is there. There is experience time and non-experience time. Existence of objects is determined by my perception and also by another's perception. And both these experiences they prove the existence. He gives an example. A milkman exists until the milking event is taking place. Once the milking event is over, then the milkman leaves, my experience goes away. So, in dream, when I don't perceive the dream objects, they don't exist. Whereas it's in the waking state, it continues. Another example which we can all give is a cricket match. When the cricket match is being seen by me, I say that that there is existence of this experience. But suppose I come out of the stadium, I don't experience the match, but for someone else, that experience continues. So that is the argument in these verses. Temporarily, Gaudapada Acharya says, I accept objective existence and subjective existence. But don't forget that my argument is it is mithya. Whether it is subjective or objective, it is mithya. And why is the mithya? Because it is drishyam and it is anitya. These two reasons is always Gaudapada Acharya uses throughout the second chapter. Throughout the second chapter, there will be Purva Pakshi coming with so many different arguments. But what we have to understand is that every time Gaudapada Acharya will go back to this reason. What is he saying? Waking state is drishyam. It is seen, it is experienced by the sense organs, and it is experienced by the mind. Dream is also experienced by the mind only. It is drishyam. Now, in the Mandukya mantras, the fifth and the sixth mantra says that adhyanam of your real nature, turiyam, is the cause for the projection of waking and dream. If you recollect what we discussed in the mantra number 5 and 6. The third pada is the karanam, is the cause. I don't know my real nature is turiyam, therefore I'm projecting a waking world and a dream world. It is a subjective experience. The dream is projected by a Jiva, whereas the waking state is projected by Ishwara for all the Jivas. So Jagrat is produced by the māyā Shakti of Ishwara, whereas Swapna is produced by Nidra Shakti of Jiva. Now both are srishti, both are karya. It's a creation or a projection. We don't call it creation in Mandukya. We always use the term projection. Ignorance, because of ignorance, I project a snake on the rope. Similarly, because of the ignorance that I am turiyam, this projection takes place. And this projection is also anitya. It is also anitya. How does he prove that anityam? We have seen that before. Gaudapada Acharya gives this example from Mandukya Upanishad, and where this is an example which is given to prove that from a single iron piece, you can create so many different things. You can create a hammer, you can create a nail cutter, you can create a scissor, you can create so many things. All these things are, for example, from a clay, you can create a jug, pot, you can create a tumbler, you can create a vessel, you can create so many things out of clay. The cause is one, the effect is many. Karyam is many, cause is one. So the cause for the projection is the same Mula Avidya. Jagrat Prapancha is an objective existence. Swapna Prapancha is a subjective existence. You can't say that because it is objective, because it is objects which are seen outside, you can't say it is real. That is what is the contention of the Siddhanta. So real or unreal does not depend on whether it is subjective or objective, but it depends on the ignorance, which is the cause. Cause is ignorance, projection is unreal. That's all. It is drishyam. That is what Gaudapada Acharya says. Now, Anandagiri, one of the commentators, talks about this Dvayakala experiences. He says that today's dream is never repeated. It is not continued the next day. Whereas Jagrat, you see the same every day. Continuity is proved in the Jagrat. So, Swapna has got one only pratyaksha kala. During my dreaming time, I can see it, not as a pratyabhignya kala. Pratyabhignya kala means what? Pratyabhignya means recognition. In Jagrat, there is a recognition of the world again and again. Therefore, because it is cognized again and again, we say it is an objective experience. It is more real. But what the commentator is saying is that whether it is Dvayakala, that means it is there before, it is not there now, whether it is there now also and before also, don't take that as the argument. It is a wrong argument. It is an inappropriate argument. What you should note is both are karyam. Both are products. Then he will give further reasoning about sense organs being used. That will come in the next verse. So first answer is that both are karyam. Therefore, it is mithya. Jagrat is mithya, dream is mithya. There is no difference between Jagrat and Swapna. That is what Gaudapada Acharya wants to say. Now, how does he say there is no difference? What he says is, you are looking at Jagrat from waker's angle, and you see dream from dreamer's angle. Waker never experiences dream, which is true. A waker will never experience. It's a dreamer who experiences the dream. So, world is always objective, whether it is Jagrat or Swapna. For a dreamer, his world is what? Objective only. It is not subjective. Purva Pakshi is saying what? It is a subjective experience. The dream is a subjective. He is looking at the dream standing on the waking state. He says it was inside my mind I experienced the dream. So he is using a wrong status. Dreamer never looks at dream as a mental projection, exactly like the waker will never look at the waking world as Ishwara's projection. This is a very important argument. Both waking and dream, there is subjectivity and objectivity if you look at it from respective states. We have given this argument before also. It is just a repetition. Again, one more time, Gaudapada brings the same argument. Look at dream from dreamer's point of view. Look at waker from waker's point of view. And then you will accept that both are mithya. Okay, so this is what has been said for this verse. Even though the Swapna is taken as subjective, but it is taken as subjective only from the waker's angle, but from a dreamer's angle, it is still objective. Waker's world is objective, everybody understands. What are the other differences between Jagrat and Swapna? Jagrat is Ishwara Srishti, Swapna is Jiva Srishti. But both are karyas, both are products. The Jagrat has got a longer life compared to the Swapna. 100 years, 200 years, we all live in this body and then we experience this body. But from limitlessness, from the angle of Turiyam, which is timeless, what is one waking state? Nothing. It is a minuscule. It is as good as the Swapna itself. Now, the Jagrat world is created with 5 elements. And it is Vyavaharika Satya. Swapna Avastha is created by the mind with vasanas. They are different in their nature. One is a subtle body, another is a gross body. So the subtle body dream is called as Pratibhasikam. Jagrat is called as Vyavaharik. But both of them are Karyam. Again and again, we must remember both are products of ignorance. Our sleep state is a state of ignorance. Out of that comes 2 types of projections. One is the dream, another is the waking. Both are used for vasanas to be exhausted. Both have got the basis of the law of karma. So ultimately, what is the conclusion? In spite of being objective or subjective differences existing, both these experiences of waking and dream are appearances. They are karyam, they are products, they are not reality. Dreamer thinks the dream world is external. Like the waker. Waker also thinks the world is external. And he thinks that the world will continue after he passes away also. So many people have come and gone, but he still feels. But these are all the intellectual conclusions. They are not the truth. That is what Gaudapada says. I am thinking in my mind that the world is there continuously. It is a thought in my mind, but it is not the truth. It is an experience. It is an appearance. That nobody denies. Dream is an experience. Everybody says, yes, I experience it. But is it real? No. Same thing, waking also is an experience, but it is not real. That is the basic conclusion of this 14th mantra. And both are vacharambanam. Vacharambanam means what? They are there uttered by the mouth. Uttered vacharambanam means it is uttered by the mouth. Now, reality is different. Reality is clay. Pot is vacharambanam. Pot is a product. The name exists only in my tongue. All the names of the different objects which we experience, they are there in my tongue. But reality is what? Jug, pot, tumbler, all this is name and form and function. but the reality is clay. So similarly, the reality is Atma, and names and forms and functions which we experience are all mithya. That is what is conclusion of the 14th Karika. 15th Karika is also very similar in nature. Only thing is, Gaudapada adds at one point about sense organs being present. That's all. He says the same argument is there in the 15th Karika. Let's just see how Vijaya is chanting this.
अव्यक्ता एव येन्तस्तु अव्यक्ता एव येन्तस्तु स्फुटा एव च ये बहिः स्फुटा एव च ये बहिः कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे विशेषस्त्विन्द्रियान्तरे विशेषस्त्विन्द्रियान्तरे.
So this is Gaudapadacharya's verse. He brings in two new ideas in this verse. One is manifestation, unmanifestation, and then experience with sense organs, experience without sense organs. Let us see how he explains this. He says that first of all, he explains what Purva-Pakshi is saying. Purva-Pakshi is saying that a dream is Swapna is real, is unreal, but Jagrat is real because it is experienced clearly. Now, what Gaudapada says is that let us take the example of two trees, mango tree and coconut tree. Both are trees. There is Sajatiya Bheda. Both are trees. Therefore, there is no Sajatiya Bheda. But there is a Vijatiya Bheda because one is a mango tree, another is a coconut tree. The fruits are different. So, dreamer and the waker's world both are mithya. That is, they are belonging to the same jati. Both are belonging to the same, both are appearances. But the waker's world is more clear. Purva-Pakshi is saying waker's world is very clear. The product is different. The dream world product is different. Like the mango and the coconut. He says, how can we compare mango and coconut? They are two different. Vijatiya Bheda is there. How the Purva-Pakshi is saying Vijatiya Bheda? He says one is clear, sputam. I can even recollect what happened 70 years ago in the waking state. Whereas in the dream, I have forgotten the dream the moment I forgot. I have woken up, I have forgotten it. So one is manifest clearly, another is unmanifest. That means there is a difference, isn't it? Sajatiya Bheda exists. That means Swapna is not clear, Jagrat is clear. Okay, this is the gist of the 15th Karika. Let us see Shankaracharya how he tackles this. First of all, he says, temporarily I accept what you are saying. That Jagrat is clear, Swapna is unclear. In spite of this clear and unclear, my contention is both are mithya. I don't accept your difference being any difference in Jagrat and Swapna. Go back to the same argument. Shankaracharya goes back to the same argument. He says you are using double standards You're seeing dream from Baker's standpoint, and then you're saying that the dream is unclear. For a dreamer, the dream is very clear. So your reasoning that Swapna is unclear, you're making this statement not in dream, but you're making it in Jagrat Avastha. Both dream and waking are vyaktam, they are manifest. You don't say it is unmanifest. Manifestation is there in manifestation means clarity. I can see the waking world very clearly. In the dream world, yes, I can see it also clearly. It may be fleeting. One may be fleeting, another may last for a longer time, but that is not that is not the reason for saying it is real. And now Shankaracharya explains why we are seeing very clearly the waking world compared to the Swapna. Waking world is seen, is perceived by the sense organs. It is Indriya Pratyaksha. Whereas Swapna is Sakshi Pratyaksha. And what is the world in this dream? Sakshi is the seer. World is seen, it is only mental thoughts. So mental thoughts versus objects which are made up of Panchabhutas, there is a difference. So difference is there in the instrument of perception. In the Swapna, it is the mind which is being perceived. In the Jagrat, it is the prapancha which is through the sense organs. I'm seeing the Panchabhutas, objects made of Panchabhutas, which are more clearer. And in the Swapna avasthas, the sense organs are closed. They are not working. Or Jagrat sense organs are not working. So dream sense organs made up of vasanas, thoughts, is seeing the dream world, which is a inferior instrument. Nothing to do whether it is real or unreal. See, this is the way Gaudapada Charya analyzes. What we also have to do is understand how we perceive our dream. We perceive our dream because of the vasanas and the sense organs. You see, even in the dream, we use a dream sense organs, which is different than the waking sense organs. We also see, we also hear. We hear people talking even in the dream. He says, Shankaracharya says, suppose you do Shiva Manasa Puja in the dream. Mentally you imagine. It will be actually as good as a Shiva Manasa Puja in the waking state. It is an imaginary, but whether it is vyaktam, vyaktam means manifest, which can be seen by the sense organs. Avyaktam means the sense organs which we use in our waking state, which cannot be used. It cannot see the dream as it is. Therefore, it is avyaktam. So, what should be the conclusion? Conclusion, what he says is, Jagrat is mithya from Atma standpoint. Atma standpoint, Swapna is mithya from the Atma standpoint, because ultimately Atma is the ultimate seer. So, from the Swapna standpoint, it is real. Jagrat from the Jagrat standpoint is real. Don't try, when you try to go higher, and then you can say it is unreal. reality in relation to the observer. Once relation is dropped, then the prapancha becomes unreal. See, a waker is seeing the waker, the waker is seeing the waking world. Dreamer is seeing the dream world. Waker cannot see the dream world. Neither the dreamer can see the waking. So it is related. That's what he is trying to say. So you drop the dreamer and the dream world as unreal, drop the waker and the waker's world as unreal. Then for these two, there has to be an adishta, which is absolutely real. And that is Turiyam. Ultimately, we go to Turiyam. That is, all this is trying to, all these Karikas are explanations of ultimately how I can relate my real nature as pure consciousness, which is what is the fourth state. Okay. So in the 11th Karika, the Purva Pakshi wanted to know who is the projector, sustainer, and experiencer of the waking world. The projector and experiencer must be the same, because in the dream, I am the projector, I experience the dream world. In Karika number 12, we said that Prajna Atma is the projector of the Sthula Prapancha and the Sushma Prapancha. Sthula Prapancha is the first pada. Sukshma Prapancha is the second pada. And where is it mentioned that Ishwara is the projector of all the dream world and is the ultimate projector of the dream world and the waking world? In the sixth mantra. In the sixth mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, what does it say? Antaryami. Esha Sarveshwara, Esha Sarvajnaha. This inner controller is the source of both the waker and the dream. What about Turiyam then? Turiyam is only a presence. It is neither the cause, it is neither the effect. Cause is the sleep. It is the ignorance of the Turiyam, which is the cause. And what is the effect? Karyam. Karyam is the waking and dream. So Karya Pada is the first Pada and the second Pada. Karana Pada is the third Pada. Bija and Ankura, seed and plant. Nidra and Swapna. Nidra means the Shakti. Because of Nidra Shakti, I experience Swapna. Because of Ajnanam, ignorance, I have Adhyasa. Because of Agrahanam, sleep state is called as Agrahanam. If you recall what we discussed in the 5th and the 6th mantra, Agrahanam is the cause of projection. Anyatha Grahanam. See, we should always remember one important point, which is māyā Shakti. Our Nidra Shakti is a miniature version of māyā Shakti. Nidra Shakti, all of us have. Every body has got the ability to go to sleep and then forget about our real nature, which is beyond that. Okay, so this is Gaudapada Acharya remembers the 12th Karika here, which I have explained to you. The material cause for the dream is vasanas. Vasanas are nothing but punya papa karma phalam. How does the vasana express? Vasana expresses as thoughts. Thought is a manifested version of vasana. Vasana is unmanifest. Nobody can know their vasana. Only when that vasana manifests as a thought in dream or thought in waking. Some thoughts are required for a waking state, some thoughts are required for the dream state. Nothing is random in Vedanta. Everything is as per the law of karma. Don't forget this particular law in understanding the nature of both the waking state and the dream state. What about science? Science talks about random creation theory. In the next Karika, Gaudapada Acharya explains what is the nature of creation. How does creation take place? Is it random or is there a law? Let us look at the 16th Karika. This is an introduction which is given by Shankaracharya. There are two worlds. One is external, another is internal. External world is Bahya Bhautika Prapancha, objective. Internal world is Adhyatmika, which is subjective. Both these have got mutual cause-effect relationship. See how deep Shankaracharya goes in analysis of all this. On our own, we can never analyze like this. So when we study Mandukya Upanishad, we get a logical way of looking at the world. External world influences the internal world of emotions and knowledge, and similarly vice versa. As a bhokta, I allow the external world to affect my internal world. For example, I am experiencing the world outside. It may be a good dish outside. So when I experience the world, what happens? The external world influences my emotions. It may cause anger, it may cause happiness. So as bhokta, the world, internal world and external world are mutually influencing each other. They are cause and effect. As karta, I look at my thoughts, my internal world, and then I try to change the external world. Therefore, the external world is affected. So, cause could be internal, cause could be external. They are mutually interrelated. That is what Gaudapada wants to say in the 16th Karika. If there is an interaction between external world and internal world, and they are mutually cause and effect, therefore there must be some law in creation. It cannot be haphazard. Suppose you think, I want to do a PhD, then you will pursue something. There is a cause internally, you think, and then you put into action. Externally, you change things. Sometimes externally, you get some opportunities. Internally, you change. So, this cause-effect relationship is very important when we study creation. Let's see the 16th Karika.
जीवं कल्पयते पूर्वम् जीवं कल्पयते पूर्वं ततो भावान् पृथग्विधान् ततो भावान् पृथग्विधान् बाह्यानाध्यात्मिकांश्चैव बाह्यानाध्यात्मिकांश्चैव यथा विद्यस्तथा स्मृतिः यथा विद्यस्तथा स्मृतिः.
So first of all, Gaudapada Acharya says, as soon as we are either in the waking, dream or sleep, there is a Jiva Bhavana, an ego. I am a waker. The moment you wake up, you say, I am a waker. The moment you go to sleep, we say what? I am a sleeper. So after you wake up, follows all other imaginations of various objective and subjective experiences. And then we have the knowledge and memory. See how step by step Gaudapada Charya is understanding creation. The Atma projects the Jiva first. What is the Jiva? Jiva means what? The reflected consciousness together with the mind or reflected consciousness with the body. Now, once this is projected, Ishwara is the karma phaladata. When we say Ishwara is karma phaladata, it is he is giving us the fruits of actions. He is the one who is the law maker of this universe. How scientifically we can understand this? The moment we wake up, there is a notion, I am a waker. That notion is a projection of Ishvara. I don't create that notion. I don't. It is a natural thing for the entire humanity. So with this, I can infer that there is a power, there is a creative power in this universe who is responsible for the entire world which we experience. How do we understand twofold creation, Jiva creation and Jagat creation? Jiva is what? He is a Karta and a Bhog. Jiva is experiencer. And what is the world? World is experienced. World is experienced, Bhogya, and Jiva is the Bhog. Now, creation is meaningful if Jiva and Jagat mutually interact and they get the benefit. Jiva without Jagat will have nothing to experience. And Jagat without Jiva will have no one to experience. In both the cases, creation will become meaningless. Carpet and a chair, they cannot interact with each other. Both are to be projected simultaneously. Jiva and Jagat are to be projected simultaneously is the contention of Gaudapada. So the Srishti creation is because of karma and karma phalam. Because of the karma phalam, there is a cycle. Current Srishti is based on previous Srishti. In the previous Srishti, there were Jivas who did certain karmas. They all have to enjoy in the next Srishti the phalams. There is no first Srishti. Many intelligent students, they try to corner a teacher and say, can you tell me who was the first, what was the first karma? Why did that happen? The answer is there is no first Srishti. It is a cycle. In a straight line, you can have the starting and the ending. But in a cycle, there is no starting or ending. It is called as anadi. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, there's a verse, third verse. Everybody, all of you must be knowing this verse. Na rupamasyeta tathopalapyate nato na charte na chat sampratishta ashwattamenam sviruda moolam sangashastrena dhidena chitva. The most important word is na rupamasya. That is what we must understand in this particular context. Now, rupamasya means what? This creation doesn't have a starting point and an ending point. Jiva, Jagat, both are anadi. Anadi means what? They have no beginning and they have no end. Till the Jiva gets knowledge of his higher nature. We can only talk about the current Srishti. In the current Srishti, what we say is Jiva and Jagat Creation is simultaneous. But understanding of the creation, I do it in sequence. There is a krama. In understanding, there is a krama. I try to understand the Jiva first, and then I try to understand the Jagrat. Now, world is relevant only for a Jiva. Which is true, isn't it? See, our world, unless the Jivas are there, the world can be useful. There are 14 lokas, 7 higher lokas, 7 lower lokas. Now, Jivas have got 3 types of punyams. Punyam dominant, papam dominant, or mishra. If it is punyam dominant, you will be in the Swarga loka, higher lokas. If you are papam dominant, you will be in the lower lokas. Tala, Vitala, Sutala, Patala, all those 7 lokas. And if you are in the mixture, suppose that is why human beings, all of us, we have sorrow and joy. There is nobody who experiences only sorrow or only joy. There is equal, according to what the Veda says, human beings have got equal punyam and papam, and therefore they are born in the Bhulo. So, first we understand Jiva Srishti, and then we understand Jagat Srishti. Jiva is designed, the Srishti is designed as per the Jiva's Punya Papa Phalams. There is order for understanding the creation, but not in the projection of the creation. The dream world, for example, is a projection. It's not step by step. You will see in dream you don't see the trees coming out first, and then you see the persons in the dream and so on. It is a complete dream projection is one. Similarly, the whole world is a projection of Ishwara. It is simultaneous. All the human beings, all the world, objects and beings are all produced as one projection, simultaneous projection. So the question of Purva Pakshi is, who is the projector? Projector is Ishwara. That is what is the answer. The second pada is the Swapna. The first pada is the Jagrat. Who is the projector of the Jagrat Avastha? We say it is Virat Devata. And we say Swapna is from the Hiranyagarbha Devata. But both these Devatas have got the substratum as Turiyam. Both these are Karya Prapancha. The third pada, which is Ishvara, is the Karana pada, cause. What about Turiyam? Turiyam is alone, without an Atma. There is no trace of Anatma in Turiyam. Absolutely no. Knowing that Turiyam as an Adhishtanam, as a presence, because of which all this activity in the world is going on, I get moksha. Turiyam by itself cannot project, it is Ishvara which projects. Is there order in creation? Really, there is no order, it is simultaneous projection, is the answer. Okay? If there was order, then there will be a problem. Which one came first? Who created the first Jiva? Who created all this? A lot of questions will come. So, Jiva appears because of karma. Jagat has no purpose by itself, which we have seen so far. Cosmos is useless if there is no Jiva. For example, there are so many planets and stars which we are, galaxies which we hear in the cosmology. But it has no use. Unless until a jiva is there, experiencing sukham and dukkham, the world is useless. So this is the gist of the mantra. Now we will start the karikas. It's very simple. This 16th karika is fairly simple one. Jiva has got two aspects, karta and bhokta. The um, uh, karta jiva is the cause of the bhokta, and similarly bhokta it is a mutual interacting between karta and bhokta, and that is the world. Jiva wrongly claims he is the karta and bhokta, does not know the adhishtanam, which is Ishwara or Turiya Atma. Now, in Brahma Sutra, we talk about adhyasa. So the first thought which comes, I am a jiva, it is an adhyasa. It is a wrong notion in the intellect. Now, this wrong notion can be corrected only by Atma Jnana. So, freedom from this jivatvam is only possible by Atma Jnana. This you must be very, very clear when you are studying Vedanta. We come to Vedanta by sometimes you don't know how did I land listening to all this Upanishads. It just happened. But there is an order in the world. Remember, there is an order in the world. Nothing happens by chance. So the adhishtanam for the rope snake projection is a rope. Upon rope snake is kalpita. Similarly, for the baker, jiva, there is an adhishtanam, and that adhishtanam is called as Ishwara, or Ishwara as māyā Shakti. Okay, then in the beginning, we tries to understand the world first, jiva, and the world later. World means karakam, kriya, and phala. This is one of the ways of defining what the world is. World means I have accessories for action to produce action. For example, I have a vessel, I have fire, kitchen. These are all accessories, karakam. Then I do action. So karakams are meant for the actions for cooking. For example, if you use fire vessel, they are the accessories for cooking. But what is the phalam? The phalam is the dish which I make. That is the phalam. Now, let us take the micro and the macro. The micro means individual, Vishwa, Sthula Sharira. Now, macro is the Virat, Sthula Prapancha. In the world, there are objects and there are human beings. Jivas are interacting with the external objects and getting sukham or dukkham. This is the way creation is being explained. And when this interaction happens, there is sukham, ultimate result is sorrow or joy. So the cycle of karma, a cycle of samsara is that external world gets connected to the internal world of emotions. Internal world of emotions gets connected to the external. So narupamasya means it is a connection. In Bhagavad Gita, which I quoted just now, it is a connection which is being established between the external world and the internal world. There is no first srishti or there is no last srishti. It is a cycle. Every pralayam is followed by Srishti. Okay. This I have already explained. Punya Papa, Jiva's Punya Papas are the result of creating upper lokas or lower lokas. There is a very beautiful section. If you want to study the creation, there is a Brahmanika Upanishad, chapter 1, the 5th section, Sattana Brahmanam. It explains creation, which is taken up here by Shankaracharya. A lot of that comes here. Okay. These are all some examples which are given. This you can read it through. It is nothing very difficult to understand. I will go through the important points. I've already explained to you the Kriya, Karaka, and Phalam in the world. And port is just a short form of possessions, duties, relations for maintenance, and transaction. The port constitutes the world in the sense, whatever we try to, our actions are all determined by our desires. That is what Shankaracharya is trying to explain in this portion. Moksha does not require Ishwara Bhava. Moksha requires what? Brahma Bhava. See, when we study the Karikas, we should learn what is important, what is not important. Important is to note that by knowing Ishwara, I will not get moksha. I have to know Turiya. Brahma Bhava. Turiya Bhava is Brahma Bhava. So, knowing Turiyam gives me moksha, and knowing Ishwara as the third, as the cause of the universe. Ultimately, Gaudapada Charya wants us to drop analysis of the world and look at the adishtam, which is Turiya. As long as we are analyzing the world cause, effect, then we will miss out on the main teaching. Main teaching is, I am a mukta purushaha. Okay. Now, I will stop here with this 16th verse, and or I'll just introduce the 17th, and then we'll start the 17th verse next week. The 17th verse, Shankaracharya gives an introduction in this mantra. He says, Jiva is the primary factor for creation. Without Jiva and without Jiva's punya papa karma, there is no necessity, purpose of creation. And who is responsible for the projection of a Jiva? World comes because of karma. Karma comes because of Jiva. Projection of Jiva is given in the 16th verse. Jiva comes into being because of Mula Avidya. See, if I know that I am Turiyam Atma, which exists independently, which has got no anatma, no jivatvam, no worldly-less, which is what we experience in our sleep state. When I say sleep state means what? Beyond the sleep state, there is Atma, which is what I am, which is my real nature. So, while in the Jagrat Avastha, if I come to know that Atma is my real nature, and I can maintain that as the reality behind the whole creation, that notion of Brahma Bhava nullifies the Jiva Bhava. That is the process of moksha. Just as the rope ignorance is the cause of snake projection. Turiya ignorance is the cause of Jivatva projection. Okay, so this 17th verse, next week we will start, which is the 311 topic. Okay, just a small announcement. Towards the end of December, there will be no class on the 28th and 29th of December. Our classes will go on till that time. 21st, 22nd, till that time. The last week, 28 and 29, there will be no class. I will put it in the WhatsApp group also, just as an advance notice. I'm just telling you, on Saturday and Sunday, 28 and 29, there will be no class. Okay, so with this, we close our discussion on Mandukya Upanishad today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudacchade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Don't see any remarks in the chat box. In case you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
Hari Om Shekhar-ji.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shama.
Shekhar-ji, I have two questions. I mean, one is, of course, I think I understand it clearly that it's this objective and subjective, and so it's getting a little confused with the projection part of it. So the Veka's world, it is a Ishwara Sushti.
Correct.
And the Swapna is the Jiva Srishti. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So which is totally subjective.
Yes.
But this Ishwara Srishti, in the way that we see and perceive and experience, that's definitely very subjective, isn't it? It's subjective in the way we see.
Correct.
You know, we see
ultimately in our waking state. There is an Ishwara Srishti. The teaching which you have got from Panchadasi classes, you should still remember.
Mm-hmm.
It is still valid. You see, during our waking state, definitely we will be experiencing the world different.
Mm-hmm.
As per our vasanas, we will experience it. But ultimately, what is the Upanishad saying? Upanishad is only saying it is drishyam and it is anitya. Whether it is Ishvara Srishti or Jiva Srishti, whether we are perceiving objectively or subjectively, don't forget it is perceived, it is drishyam. Drishyam means the five sense organs are experiencing five sense objects both in the dream and in the waking state. There is nothing which is beyond these five sense organs. They are all coming into the mind, and the mind is being witnessed by Sakshi. So the understanding is, it is when we say it is a projection, what we should understand is that it is a world in which by itself it doesn't have a reality. Unless until the Sakshi is present, I am the Sakshi, pure consciousness. Unless I am there, I don't experience the world with neither the waking state, dream state, or the sleep state, unless I, the consciousness, am present. So when your question regarding how is this a projection? Okay, it is a projection of either Ishvara or Jiva. Dream is a projection of Jiva. Everybody will know. I
Yeah.
mean, my mind has projected the dream. We all accept it as the truth. And it is a projection of the mind and it is false. It is mithya. So this part of the teaching is very easy to understand.
Yeah.
When it comes to waking state, what Upanishad says is, you go one step backward and say, it is not my mind, it is the mind of Ishwara, which is Hiranyagarbha, which is projecting this waking state.
Okay.
Waking state is also a projection. Dream state is also a projection. Whenever I try to analyze the waking state, I say it is Ishwara's projection. Exactly like I project, Ishwara also projects. Ishwara is nothing but he is a replica of a man, a human being. Or you can say Jiva, the human being, is a replica of Ishwara only. In Aitreya Upanishad, in the second, in the it's the creation theory in Aitreya Upanishad is very very beautiful. It says how Ishvara was created by the pure consciousness. All the features. Anyway, I'm digressing there. But to answer your question, both are projections. Both are anitya. Why do we say it? You see, the first reason is drishyatvam. It is drishyatvam means it is perceived. Perceived either by the ears, either by my eyes. All the five sense organs, perception is called as the world. The definition of the Jagrat Avastha is nothing but except the perception of the five sense organs.
Correct.
All the things, whether it is
depending
mountains,
on the
rivers,
state of the Jnana Indriyas, which means the five sensory organs plus the mind, because the mind also depends upon what state it is. As per that, the drishyam will be.
Yes.
Like, I mean, attending your class, depending upon my mind's condition, I'm able to that much be totally aware, totally attentive, totally grasping, isn't it?
Yes.
So who is deciding that sankalpa? Like this is really where
that is what is brought out in these karikas which we did today. What it says is, it is the jiva's karmas which are bringing out these sankalpas. These thoughts are all nothing but it is a continuous cycle of a jiva. His karmas are bringing out new thoughts every day. Like, for example, yesterday's actions will bring tomorrow's or today's thoughts. It is a continuous cycle. If you take whatever you thought about, it turns into an action.
Yeah.
So it is a cycle. So in this birth, you have got certain thoughts, certain results of thoughts that you fulfill. Again, next birth you take, again another body, again this is a cycle.
So in this present janma, I am experiencing results of the past prarabdha, of the past karma.
The result of
but it's not related to like the class I attended yesterday. Therefore, I am left with that. To me, it looks more that it's a karyam karna effect. That I listened to the class yesterday, so therefore I've got some thoughts today. So it looks very immediate. Yeah.
But what Gaudapada says is these are all only intellectual notions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He says that past, I had that experience in the past, I'm experiencing this now. These are all the intellectual notions in your mind. That's all.
Which is kalpayate. Is that kalpayate?
That is what is kalpayate.
Yeah. Which actually is interesting is that in the actual word kalpana, it's supposed to be imagination, isn't it?
Yes. So it's your intellect which is imagining, oh, there was a class last week. Now I'm continuing the same class. So all this is your own thought. You see that in today's Karika, what came out in today's talk is this Dvaya Kala. Dvaya Kala means the world was existing yesterday, it is existing today, and it will be existing tomorrow also. Gaudapada Acharya says it is a intellectual thought in your mind. That's all.
Okay. Just one last question. So when we say the waker state, it doesn't necessarily, it's talking much more about the physical state of wakefulness. It's not, if I'm awake to my Turium as my Turium state, like in my waker state, is that referred as a waker state, or just being awake?
No. You are talking about a realized master.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, there are two things. There is an experience of a jnani and an experience of a ajnani.
Okay.
For a ajnani, he has absolutely no clue about Turiya.
Yeah, sure.
For him, waking state means that this is real. That's the end of it. You see, for 99.9% of the people of this earth, waking state is real, and that's it. I am here. I will not be there tomorrow, and whatever is there today, I enjoy and go. That's all.
Correct. Yeah.
The jnani who starts asking questions, is this all in this world, or is there something else in the world?
Correct.
Now, he's the one who comes to Mandukya Upanishad to understand that world which I'm experiencing and which I'm calling it as waker, dreamer, sleeper, these three states, it is a temporary state of the mind. It has got nothing to do with me. I am always pure consciousness. In my presence, these things are going on. By knowing this Turiyam, by knowing I am always Turiyam, what happens to the waker, dreamer, sleeper? The jnani will know that there is no waker, dreamer, sleeper. These are all false things. It is just an experience going on, but it will end. Which waking state has remained permanently for you? Never. Waking state ends in sleep state. Sleep state again comes out as waking state. So this cycle of waking, dream, sleep, you have to come out of it to come out of samsara. What is the purpose of studies? The purpose of studying Upanishad is, I am today experiencing samsara. Samsara means joy, sorrow, birth, death. Now, what does the study of Upanishad do? The study of Upanishad says that whatever I am experiencing is mithya. Mithya means it appears, it is there. The Upanishad never negates the experiences.
Correct.
What Upanishad says is they are unreal. They are not there. They are not there at all. It is only an appearance like the dream. The dream was there yesterday. It came and went. What Upanishad says, especially Mandukya Upanishad says, that even waking is exactly like dream. See, for example, try to become aware of the waking state. Yesterday's waking state is not there today. Gone. And today's waking state is not there tomorrow. Gone. Exactly like the dream. Yesterday dream is not there today. Today's dream is not there tomorrow. That means all my experiences of waking and dream are nothing but an appearance. And it is a movie which goes on. Let the movie go on. And I will be a witness. That is what in the meditation today I say, Sakshi Chinmatram Sadashivata. I am Sakshi. I am of the nature of consciousness, which is Chinmatram. Chinmatram. Matram means what? There is not an iota of an Atma in me.
Correct. Correct.
By knowing this Atma, immediately I get moksha, not after some time. That is the beauty of Vedantic jnana. If your intellect is ready to understand Vedanta clearly, then immediately you will say, I am the Turiya. There is no gap between jnanam and moksha.
Yeah. And it appears that, therefore, all of our experiences in the waking and the dream state probably has only one utility value, that it is giving an instruction to tell us that what is anatma and what is atma. Because all that we are experiencing, drishya, drigya, viveka, all that is, we are objectively seeing all the experiences is actually mithya. It doesn't amount to anything. So therefore, there must be something which is substantial, so in terms of the intellectual analysis, the whole idea of all this experience is that we actually look for what is beyond the anatma, isn't it?
That's correct. You see, that is what the Jnani says, that the world is there for us only to know I am not part of the world. I am something which is only a witness to the world. The moment you get this knowledge, you have understood, and the jnanam has benefited you. You see, and jnanam is one thing, and jnana phalam is another thing. A lot of people have jnanam, but don't get the phalam of that jnana. They don't get moksha. They may have bookish knowledge, they may have scholarship, they can teach very well, but they are not Brahmanishta. When you are teaching as if you are Brahman, you are not objectifying Brahman, you are not objectifying Turiya.
Correct.
You're saying,
you're becoming
Turiya.
Yeah, you're becoming one.
Correct, you become one. That is why in the end of the meditation, I said, whatever is said about anatma is unreal. I am the only presence. While listening itself, the student must know and understand the consciousness aspect of his true nature.
So is it the Brahman himself is the seeker in form of the Jiva?
Correct.
I mean, who is seeking home? Who is seeking home?
See, the pure consciousness appears as the Jiva, Jagrat, Ishwara. That is how the Upanishads say. That is why we say the whole thing is a reflection. It is in my reflection, I am seeing the world. Without the reflection, I still exist. You see, for example, suppose you look at the mirror, and the face in the mirror was looking out into the world. And the face in the mirror says, I am seeing so many things in this world, but actually my real nature is not this reflected face. My real nature is the original face, which I never see. As a Jiva, I should say, I never see my face, I never see my consciousness, but I am the consciousness.
Correct, yeah.
The moment you say, I'm seeing consciousness, I'm seeing Brahman, I'm seeing Lord, I'm seeing Ishwara, you have made that Ishwara into an object, which is wrong. Ishwara is the subject in me. In this body, Ishwara is there. And acknowledging the presence of Ishwara, that is why in some of the meditations, we say that I can feel that Ishwara inside my mind. That Ishwara is the all-powerful. The next week's meditation is the most beautiful meditation of Kaivalya Upanishad. Mayyeva sakalam jatam. That meditation is coming next week. Today is just and that will be the last meditation of Kaivalya Upanishad. Kaivalya Upanishad, these two mantras, the 19th and the 18th mantra. 18th mantra we did today. Next week we are going to do the 19th mantra. And they are very, very beautiful meditational mantras. So each one of you can take these mantras and try to meditate and realize your nature. That's all.
Would you agree, Shekharji, that Mandukya Upanishad will be the one singular Upanishad which seems to speak to each individual seeker because it's based on everyday, your waking,
everyday experiences.
Yeah, absolutely, to each and individual, regardless of who you are. Yeah.
So sometimes when you listen to those Mandukya Upanishad itself, you realize that I am the consciousness. That is what the Acharya wants to do. Acharya wants you to drop everything and say that Upanishad. Then what happens? That message of the Upanishad strikes you, and that striking is called as moksha.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Shekharji. Thank you so much.
Now, what I would say is, Mandukya is one Upanishad. Kathopanishad Bashyam is very beautiful. I'm not taught it, but it's also equally brilliant. Very deep analysis you get even in Kathopanishad. But Bashyam, I have taken the Moolam, but I have to, if you are asking another Bashyam which is as good as Mandukya Upanishad, Upanishad Bashyam is really brilliant. Some of the mantras of Kathopanishad, Shankara really brings out some unique aspects of Atma. And those mantras, when you study, what happens is immediately you get to know, this is Atma, and that is my nature. That's all.
Shekharji, do you have a compilation of Shankara Bhashyam verses, shlokas, separately, like you just mentioned about the 16, and immediately, and I obviously could not see that shloka, Shankara's commentary. I
have circulated this already. It is there. Mandukya, really? Suppose you want to study only Shankara Bhashyam, that means only all the verses of Shankaracharya without my notes.
Is it separately available?
Yeah, it is available. I have circulated in the past. I will send it to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shekharji. Thank you.
Okay, there are a few things now I have seen in the chat box. Let me just go over one. The deep sleep state, Ramesh is saying, is also then a projection of the mind. Yes, it's not a projection of the mind. It is a projection of Ishwara. You see, the moment you have started understanding that the whole universe is nothing but it is Lord's projection, Ishwara's projection. Now, what does the mantra say? Mandukya Upanishad, the fifth and the sixth mantra. Does it say it is a projection, the sleep state, or does it say it is a cause? The fifth and the sixth mantra says it is not a projection, it is the cause for the waking and dream. So you need to correct your question. The correct answer is it is not a mind's projection. The deep sleep state, it's a very, very, the deep sleep state analysis is a very deep subject. It is the understanding of ignorance. And it is a very, very big topic for analysis in a couple of advanced texts. But Naishkarmya Siddhi is one text which some portions of Naishkarmya Siddhi discusses this ignorance portion. What is this ignorance? What is this māyā Shakti? We only know māyā Shakti consists of three gunas: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. But there is a lot of things which are attached to this. In some of the Upanishadic bhashyams, you get to know the analysis of sleep state, a deeper analysis. To answer your simple question, Ramesh, about the sleep state, the way you understand sleep state in Mandukya Upanishad is, sleep state there are two ways you can look at it. You look at it from Jiva's point of view, Another is you look at it from Ishwara's point of view. When you look at it from Jiva's point of view, the sleep state is what? If I say I am a Jiva, I am a sleeper, then what happens? What will be your experience of the sleep state? I don't know anything as a Jiva. As a Jiva, you will say, I don't know anything. I experience some happiness in the sleep state. Now, is this a projection of the mind or is it a witness? Now, in the sleep state, there is a witness, which is observing the mind which has gone to sleep. So it is not a projection. It is a passive state of the mind. Deep sleep state is a passive state of the mind where the sense organs are not operating, mind is not operating, but mind is present. In that mind, which is Karana Shariram, there is a reflection of consciousness. I'm now analyzing from Jiva angle. Okay, I'm a Jiva, I'm trying to understand my sleep state. So there is a happiness which I experience. It is called as Anandamaya Kosha. Correct. I have to drop this Anandamaya Kosha and then say I am Atma. So what happens then? The Jiva says, I'm not awake, I'm not a dreamer, I'm not a sleeper. Who am I? I am beyond the three states. I am Turiya Atma. The witness consciousness. This is from the Jiva side. Now, let me look at it from the macro aspect. From the macro aspect means what? From the Ishwara's angle, from the totality angle, the sleep state is the state where it's called as Karana Prapancha. Karana Prapancha means it is the cause. It is the cause. So in the fifth and the sixth mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, it takes the macro aspect of sleep state. Macro aspect of sleep state is what? Upanishad says the sleep state of all the jivas are nothing but it is Ishwara. You merge into Ishwara in the sleep state. So what is the totality of all the sleep states? It is Antaryami Ishwara. Ishwara is present. Ishwara is the controller of the waking and dream. Waking and dream is nothing but it is a projection of this Ishwara. Now I'm not talking from a Jiva's angle. I'm talking from the macro angle, from creation angle. From creation angle, sleep state is nothing but it is Ishwara alone is. What type of Ishwara? It is Saguna Ishwara. Ishwara with māyā Shakti. Like I have a Shakti. That Shakti means what? I can't see that power. But every day I go to sleep or not. It is a power in my body. Similarly, there is a power in this universe which has got the ability to make this entire universe into unmanifest condition. So, from the Ishwara angle, what is it happening? The sleep state is nothing but it is the state of Antaryami, the inner controller of the universe. Now, from the macro angle, what do we say? Upanishad says that this Ishvara is projecting with his Maya Shakti the first pada and the second. First pada is waking state. Second pada is dream state. So, when you look at the creation separately, the way you understand is from this sleep state, which is the ignorant state, where Antarami Ishwara is there. In that, from Antarami Ishwara, these two, waking and dream, is coming for all the jivas. Whether it is all the jivas. So who is the responsible for our sleep state? It is Ishwara. When you look at it as a macro aspect of sleep state, it is Maya Shakti. Ignorance in a jiva is the same as Maya Shakti. We call it Maya Shakti. We call it power. That power, this Maya Shakti has a power to project. And there are two powers. One power is projection of waking state, dream state. The second power is what? Which is what is called as Avarna Shakti. It covers the nature of Ishwara. Only when I come to Mandukya Upanishad, I try to understand Ishwara is talking to me and telling me, go beyond the sleep state and know your real state and my state, which is Turiyam. This is a short description of your question. Your question is very, very big. It covers the whole Mandukya. But Ramesh, have I covered a little bit of your question?
Thank you, sir. Yes, you did, but it's so profound, and as you said, it's quite big. I think I got somewhere confused between the micro and the macro, because during this class today, you had mentioned that if we go back to Hiranyagarbha, there
Okay. So that is,
where
yes,
Ishvara is the
correct.
waking state, and then you mentioned that
Yeah,
the dream
that's
state
correct.
is of the mind.
Yeah.
So that's where I think I got somewhere little
Yes. Now
confused.
you're clear. You see, you have to analyze in two different ways, micro and macro. Micro is from a jiva's angle. You analyze waking, dream, and sleep. Same thing you analyze from macro angle. What is this waking state, dream state, and sleep state? Sleep state is the state of Ishvara. Dream state is the state of Hiranyagarbha. Waking state is the state of Virat. Now, Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Ishvara. Virat is responsible for the entire waking state. Whatever is happening in the waking state, of all the jivas, entire Srishti, from beginning till end, Virat. Then Hiranyagarbha is responsible for all the dream states, totality. Then Ishvara is responsible for the entire Karana Shariram. Karana Shariram and Karana Prapancha means what? Whole humanity.
Oh, okay.
But beyond when we are discussing this intellectually, you will be able to appreciate it. When you try to analyze it in your own mind, what happens is all this becomes very simple. When you analyze in your own mind, close your eyes and say Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara, and beyond that is Turiyam. I am that Turiyam. That is the knowledge. That is very easy to understand. All this is for the satisfaction of a junior student who is trying to understand Mandukya Upanishad. These are all concepts which are built in. Slowly, when you go through the Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, you will realize that through his Bhashyam, we are able to reach the ultimate Turiya. Always the goal you should remember is, I must reach Turiyam. I must reach, and actually Turiyam is very easy to understand because it is my nature. It is pure consciousness. I drop my external paraphernalia of the body, of my thoughts, of my sense organs, and then ask the question, who am I? Upanishad is saying, that is what I am trying to teach you. It is Turiyam. It is only pure consciousness. That is what is called as witness. It is called as Shivaha. It is called as Chinmatram. And it is very, very auspicious. because it's always pure. Always pure. Good.
I understand.
Ramesh.
Is there? Yes, sir. Sir, tell me, sir.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need to ask
No,
at this stage?
I just wanted to just say that is there a summary where I can just refresh myself about Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Ishwara, the micro and the macro to understand?
Is this? Have you attended some of my sessions before?
Yeah, I did. Some of them in between, there was a little gap because I was out traveling, so that was a little.
Okay. So what I suggest to you is, if you can go through the Mandukya Upanishad summary. Have you attended the summary of all the Upanishads? I've taken some sessions recently, introduction to all the Upanishads. Did you attend those sessions?
Unfortunately, no, sir, I did not attend that. If you can at least send me a link, maybe I can, go through it, and then I can one-to-one ask you questions if I need to.
There is a summary of Mandukya Upanishad. I had taken a very detailed summary.
Okay, sir.
I think it was in 3-4 sessions. You try to go to that Mandukya summary and try to just understand that. Write to me in vedantastudents.gmail.com, and then we'll send you the link. I will send you the link of all the classes. What you do is you go to the section which talks about introduction to all the Upanishads, and there go straight to Mandukya Upanishad.
Okay,
and just listen to that 2-3 talks. Then a lot of basics you'll get clarified.
Right, sir.
If you still don't get clarifications, you can still ask me questions in these sessions. You keep attending the sessions, and at the end of the sessions, you can skip asking these questions. I will answer them.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time, sir. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else has? Okay, let me go through this. Ajit, negating the experience is only intellect. Yes, you're right. You have to negate only intellectually the experiences and then claim I am pure consciousness. Venkatesh is saying it's a gateway for both waking and dream words. Okay, good. That's correct. What you're saying is correct, because in ignorance only we are projecting this waking and dream. I think you are answering to the question of Ramesh's question. Good.
Yeah.
Venkatesh, you want to expand on that? Anything?
No, I mean, that's the answer. No, I was just listening to these Karikas. 2 important points, what I observed. This external projection and internal projection, very beautifully clarified in these Karikas actually. See, what I see is, though waking world, it appears to be as an external projection. It appears to be external projection only when we see from the waking world itself. And the dream world is also, in dream world, it is external projection only. But when we
that is
see
exactly
from the,
what was taught today.
Yeah, but when we see from the waking world, it appears. Similarly, the waking world is also external projection only from the waking world point of view. But when we go to the Turiyam, it will also be like another internal projection. So both are internal projection, both are external projection. It depends what is the reference we are taking. So that's a very beautiful explanation. So in summary, what we can take into consideration is both are perceived only. And the only difference is one is perceived with the indriyas and another is perceived with the mind. Both are tools only. So if we add mind also as a tool to indriyas, so everything is perceived. So it's a very beautiful way of putting things into order to make it much more effective. And I mean, that's what I realized. So
yeah, you're right. That's correct. See, that is why study of Bashyam becomes very important.
So the Shankar Bashyam, the way he has put it, actually, I mean, it appears of dream is internal, and because we are seeing from the waking state actually. But in the dream state is still like external only. But whether both are external, both are internal, depends on how do you. So the Turiyam is the one which is that witness which makes it difference actually. So that Adhyasa is very beautifully explained in these Karikas. I mean, very scientific analysis. Yeah.
I'm glad to have been able to absorb this knowledge. Very good. Because you see, when you combine the Adhyasa with these Karikas, then the reality becomes extremely clear.
Yeah, it's very scientific. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else has a question? If you have a question, please raise your hand so that I know you're waiting for something to ask. Bharat, do you have anything? Yeah, Bharat. Are you able to unmute yourself, Bharat?
Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Shakaji. How are you?
Yeah, you're fine, Bharat. Tell me.
Okay, I just want to ask quickly. In 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 deep sleep, recalling deep sleep, as you said, we wake up the next day and we say, I slept well, but didn't know anything. And this lack of experience is a form of knowledge. So in this Karana Shariram, it's seen as experience. It cannot be you. So it's a state of pure ignorance, but it's not a state of suffering because in deep sleep there is no adhyasa. But it is a state of ignorance which, once overcome by understanding that it is ignorance, hence by seeing it is ignorance, you your our understanding, our knowledge is gained that it is ignorance, hence it's no longer ignorance. This is subtle logic reasoning here. But the main point is that in deep sleep, there is no adhyasa. That's why it's the adhyasa which we take as real that causes suffering, but in deep sleep, there is no adhyasa. There's only ignorance. Is that correct?
Okay. In a superficial understanding, you are right. But
Yeah.
if you're asking me what Shankaracharya says in the Adhyasa Bhashyam, Shankaracharya says sleep state is also Adhyasa.
Right.
Because you are a witness. You are not the sleep state. You are a witness. The moment you are talking about sleep itself means Adhyasa has started. Suppose you say, I was a sleeper, I went to sleep yesterday, it is Adhyasa. So the way to come out of this Adhyasa is to know Adhyasa less Atma. Adhyasa less is only Atma. Deep sleep state is also with Adhyasa. It is Advaita Avastha, but it is not Advaita Vastu. Advaita Vastu is Turiya. So, what from Shankaracharya's explanations, Adhyasa Bhashyam, in Adhyasa Bhashyam, towards the end of Adhyasa Bhashyam, Shankaracharya clearly says that Atma alone is without Adhyasa. The moment you say, I am Atma, don't say I am sleeper. Don't try to analyze your sleep state because Atma doesn't have a sleep state. Atma doesn't have a waking state. Atma doesn't have a dream state. The moment you say, I am Atma, as revealed to me by Mandukya Upanishad, that is the only statement which is without adhyasa.
Understood, Shakaji. My line of questioning was more along in the seventh mantra, where at the end it says ekatma pratyasaram. So it in that it's a realization that in deep sleep there is Atma, there is you, and that Swarupa is throughout all the states all the time. So what you're seeing as Adasa is the same Advaitam that's in deep sleep all the time.
Here you have to understand whether you are taking yourself as a sleeper or Turiyam. If you are taking as Turiyam, then you have to come to the conclusion there is no adhyasa in me, I alone. And you talked about ekatma pratyasaram. Ekatma pratyasaram means the Atma in me is the Atma of the universe. This is the Aikyam, this is the Mahavakyam. Ekatma pratyaya saram. Pratyaya saram means what? I alone am, I alone am. That is the pratyaya, the thought. The saram, the I alone am, that thought is Turiya. There is absolutely nothing there. Not absolutely nothing. That is why in the Turiya first part of the mantra, of the seventh mantra, it negates. Apavada portion is in the first half of the Turiya, in the seventh mantra. Na anta pragnam, I am not the waker. This is Apavada. I am not the dreamer. That is Apavada.
Yes.
I am not the sleeper. That is Apavada.
Yes.
So Apavada portion is taken up first. And then what happens? Then the revelation of Turiyam comes and says, Ekatma pratyasaram shantam shivam advaitam prapancha upashamam. So the second part of the seventh mantra is our nature. You can use these 4 or 5 words like Shiva, Shivaha, Chinmatram, and Sakshi. These 3 words of Kaivalya Upanishad, you can add the Mandukya Upanishads, these 4 words. Ekatma pratyasaram, you can add Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. All these 8 words are all referring your nature only. There you alone are, there is no anatma. No anatma means what? Anatma will still continue to appear tomorrow also. Tomorrow also you will see the Bharat with the body, this, that, actions are going on. But what will you have? The knowledge. The knowledge you will have is this year, whatever my experiences are, they are all mithya.
Yes.
Mithya, it appears, but it is not true. And knowing this Turiyam as Ekatma Saram, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, that is what is moksha. This is a very, very fine analysis. You have gone up to the sleep state, but you have to understand to drop the sleep state and own up, I alone am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Bharat. For all, Bharat is the one who has edited all my Mandukya notes, and he has done a wonderful job of correcting my notes. And the way when I present to you in the class is all edited by Bharat. And Vijaya is a person who chants all the mantras. These 2 people have really helped me a lot in these sessions. Thank you, Bharat, and Vijaya. Of course, she is not here today, but
it's a pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Jacqueline, you go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Shekhar. As a human being, there's deep sleep, like what everybody was talking about. Is a witness. So recently, I find it very interesting. When you sleep, you automatically wake up. Where I never asked myself that question. What is that? What is that? The power of waking you up, whether it's automatically waking you up. Yeah, that's very interesting. I just can't. What happened? Yeah.
The
What
power
is that?
is, there is a power in the word which is projecting this word. The same power is also resolving this word. See, the same power is maintaining the word. There are three powers required in the word. One is creation, another is maintenance, and the third is resolution. Now, all these three powers together in Vedanta, it is called as God. So, your state, dream state, my sleep state, waking state, everything is a power, and it is nothing but who you are asking me who wakes me up. It is this power which wakes you up.
Yeah, I never thought of it, but of course I know as a human being, but this time is interesting. How come I wake you? So it's like,
Correct.
what is that? That kind of power, because it's time you go to sleep and it's time you wake up, and it's like there's no alarm clock or whatever. It will just stop, Yeah. So yeah. I mean, everybody talk about weaknesses,
Yeah.
but then that's
So
what
what you should understand is there is a power which controls the universe, but beyond that power, there is a higher nature of that power. That is what is called as Atma. That is what is called as consciousness. In the presence of that consciousness, this power, what we can call it as God, is creating all these three universes: creation, sustenance, resolution. Creation, sustenance, resolution. Waking, sleep.
Okay, so the question is, in the Christianity or in Islam, I don't know, but in the Christianity, is the consciousness equal to the Holy Spirit? Are you exposed to it? Or
You can call it the Holy Spirit. Yes, you can call, actually the Holy Spirit is equivalent to Ishwara or God.
Yeah, but it's equal to
Christianity
consciousness
does
also,
not
right?
believe in Christianity does not believe in a God which is without any powers, without any.
No. My question is, I suppose, okay. In Hinduism, you have Ishwaras, okay. I suppose, whatever happened is because of the creator. So I'm asking, so should it be, not should, perhaps the equivalent of the Holy Spirit in the
Ishwara.
Christian is equal to consciousness? Can
It is
it be
equal
equal?
to Ishwar.
Oh, it's not equal to consciousness.
No, it is Ishwara.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Appreciate.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other things? These are very interesting questions. Ramesh, you have asked, can it be called as the experience of absence, the sleep state? You can call it as absence. Actually, it is not an absence of the world. It is only an unmanifest condition of the world. It is not absence of the world. The correct word to use is sleep state is an unmanifest condition. Manifest condition is waking and dream. Unmanifest condition is the sleep state of the world. Okay, so this is unmanifested condition is also called as māyā, which is the sleep state. Okay, I think we have covered quite a bit. Stop here and then continue next week if there are no other questions. Thank you. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hariam, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Om, Shankarji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.